So we are at Domaine Richaume on one of the field studies with the IAU Global Wine Studies program. Here we have a blend of white grape varieties, including the Vermentino, which is down in this area, Clairette, Sauvignon Blanc, and Viognier. So first of all, we want to look at a wine to determine its color, which will give you a number of hints. And then after that, we want to smell the wine. So we first smell it to see what we can get. Here we get some citrus flavors, a little bit of an oak flavor to it. After that, we want to swirl. The reason we swirl is because it brings out the aromas and the flavors. So now I get more of the nuttiness, some mineral that we find in the soil, some pear, and some lemon. So after that, we go ahead and we taste for just overall impression of the wine. So in the mouth, this wine is quite light, but in class we want to break it down. So we start with the dry and the sweetness. So this wine is dry, it's vinified entirely dry. And then we look at acidity. Now oftentimes acidity is overlooked, but it's extremely important for a wine. So let's take this. How you tell acidity is the amount you salivate. So the more you salivate, the higher the acidity. This wine is moderate plus acidity. Vermentino and Sauvignon Blanc add to acidity. They're both high acidity. Viognier is a little bit lower acidity. Thus, it makes a nice balanced wine. So the higher the acidity, the longer the wine usually can age. It adds freshness. We also talk about alcohol, this is a moderate alcohol wine. It's lighter in body. When we have white wines, there are no tannins. We can talk about the tannins because they're not vinified on their skins. But we do talk about the oak. This wine was done in French oak. You can smell that by a touch of toast, a hint of butter. It was also done sur lit, which means it has some yeast on it. We then look at the flavors. And on the palate, it's a little less fruity. You still get more of the citrus pear, but more of the oak that comes out mid-palate and the roundness of the sur lit that we find. It's a long finish. It's a lovely wine to have on its own as an aperitif. It's very balanced. It's complex yet harmonized. That's what we look for in a wine. So this wine can again be consumed on its own. It can match with a variety of foods. It should be drunk, I believe, not too cold, but indeed chilled. So it's a lovely wine. Again, Domaine Richaume.